What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name's Chris and here we explore products, places, and things that help us live a more enjoyable life. I've logged 1,000 miles on the S-Works Aethos and I wanted to share some thoughts with you about the bike and why I'm on the fence about it. I share my perspective as someone who may be a little bit like you. I enter the occasional race, ride about 7,500 miles a year, and I don't collect a paycheck for riding a bike. But man, do I love to get out and smash the pedals with friends while holding down work, family, and real life obligations. Let's start with the build because I think that the build is probably the most unique thing about this Aethos. I did swap quite a few parts around. It started out as a stock SRAM Red ETAP Aethos build, and the first thing that I did was swap the Roval Alpinist wheel set for a set of NV 45 AR discs. I swapped the original Turbo Cotton tires for a set of 32mm Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sports, and I'm now running the 28mm Pirelli P0 Velo Race TLRs, I believe they're called. Both are fantastic tires. I swapped the stem from the SL stem to Avenge stem because I needed a certain length and I just had this one lying around. The other thing that I did was swap the chain rings from a 4835 to a 5037. I also swapped the saddle from the S-Works Power saddle to the Pro Stealth Carbon saddle. All in all, this bike weighs in at I think 16.25 pounds, which isn't quite Aethos light, but for what I was going for, it's still a fairly light bike. Aesthetically, I think the Aethos looks really, really good. I especially like my build with the deeper wheels. See, the original stock build to me just looked a little bit too dainty, a little bit too fragile. The shallow wheels, the kind of super narrow stem. For my style, like it just didn't really do it for me. So I'm happy with the way that it looks now. I love the classic round tubes. This bike almost feels like a sleeper bike and it doesn't feel like a billboard. There's not a ton of branding on it, which is something that I really, really like. This is exactly what I was going for when I set out to purchase the Aethos. When it comes to value, I think value is kind of in the eye of the beholder here. I mean, these are 5-figure bikes we're talking about. It's an exceptional bike. It does what it's supposed to do. If you're looking for a value play when it comes to the Aethos, I think the same as I did with the Crux, the Pro version is probably the way to go. You get the bulk of the performance benefits at a fraction of the price. When it comes to performance, I mean, geez, this setup is fast, and I mean really fast. Especially with the addition of the ceramic speed bearings into the wheels, the Aethos rolls with minimal effort. I do notice that the Aethos is not quite as snappy and stiff as what I'm used to. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just an observation. And look, it could be because I'm a bigger guy at 185 pounds. That being said, it climbs incredibly well and it handles exceptionally well. I've said it before and I'll say it again, the Aethos is the best handling bike that I've ever ridden. Its road manners are incredibly refined and it's so smooth. And it's really, really comfortable. It's kind of a unicorn in that sense. You have like the benefits and handling of a high-end race bike with the comfort of an endurance road bike. It's really exceptional. So the Aethos is this incredible bike that performs well, it looks right, it's exactly what I wanted out of a bike. What's the problem here? Well, the Aethos's biggest problem is that the tarmac is still in my garage. Because the tarmac hasn't sold, I take it out occasionally. And every time I do, I'm reminded of how much that bike feels like home. If you've seen any of my other Aethos videos or you follow me on Instagram, you'd know that I love the Aethos. I love it. It's a fantastic bike. But I'm not yet convinced that the Aethos is better than the tarmac. Sure, the Aethos is better than the tarmac in some areas, no doubt about it. I think it handles better, I think it looks better, I think it's more comfortable. But as a whole package, I'm not yet convinced, and that is the problem that I have with the Aethos after 1,000 miles. All things being equal, what do you guys think I should do? Should I keep the tarmac? Should I keep the Aethos? The Crux isn't going anywhere, if that frames the discussion a little bit better. These are both exceptional bikes, but they are way too similar that it just doesn't make sense to me to keep both of them. Drop me a comment below, drop me a line on Instagram, hit that subscribe button to see what I decide to do. I'd love to include you guys in the dialogue because this is literally an internal debate about which bike to get rid of because they're both a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, and it makes it that much harder. I'm really hoping that by the next video, I will have made a decision and I'll let you know my thoughts on why I chose the Aethos or why I chose the SL7. If you'd like any more in-depth reviews about these two bikes as well, drop me a comment below. Now that I've ridden the Aethos 1,000 miles, my perspective has changed just a little bit from my initial impressions on that bike. Anyways, until next time,